I'm in a loving and healthy relationship. My husband and I have been married for almost 20 years already. We have 3 children, and I can truly say that I'm satisfied with my life. However, I won't lie if our relationship doesn't have any misunderstandings or random fights. Just like any married couple, we are also susceptible to disagreements and quarrels now and then. But there are no problems that we cannot resolve together. Nonetheless, life has been so good for us. We are financially stable and can hurdle challenges together. Our life revolves around the world of normalcy. Our children can grow up in a household where they are respected, validated, and loved. And I want this to live on till the end of our lives. I want them to be proud of everything that we have, a happy family.
Mommy, let's get going.
Mom, I want to bring with me my rubber ducky.
Nikki, we're going to the beach. It's bigger than our tubs and the rubber ducky will drown.
I'll hold her.
The sharks will eat her.
My eldest son Rico tickled Nikki, my youngest, out of fear. She ran and her 2 brothers tried to catch her, extending their fingers for a tickle attack. I chuckled at the sight of them. This is a normal scenario here in our house. Our kids love each other, and one way that they can show their affection to one another is through silly fights. We are going to the beach today to celebrate my husband's birthday. He promised our kids that he will bring them to the beach, which is why here we are right now, preparing ourselves. The kids kept on running around our dressing room, and their laughter filled the 4 walls. My heart warmed seeing them full of joy and enjoyment. A knock on the door brought me back to reality. I opened it and saw my husband smiling at me. I smiled back. He entered the room and he smiled even wider as he saw our children having the best time of their lives, joking with each other.
It seems like we don't have to go to the beach anymore.
I think so too. They're already enjoying their silly tickles.
But I just can't break my promise to them. I'm sure they will shower me with tickles.
Don't you like it? I asked him playfully. My husband laughed and hugged me from behind.
But I like it better when you tickle me.
I shushed him with a slight tug in the elbow. He just laughed at my gesture. We both looked at our children. This is the life that I have asked for, simple yet full of happiness. As soon as my daughters noticed us staring at them, they ran towards us and hugged us so tightly. Oh, what a marvelous feeling.
Come on, let's put your things in the truck and we'll go before the beach runs away.
They laughed at my husband's joke. Their laughter is music to my ears. Silly daddy! They picked up their bags immediately and carried them to our car. Meanwhile, I prepared the things that we're going to bring, and my husband happily and voluntarily helped me with it. He's always like this, a thoughtful and helpful one. That is why I fell in love with him. By the time I finish preparing, we immediately go to the car. I am so excited to see the beach as well, but our children are more excited. They have prepared lots of things for their dad's birthday. They even practiced a song for him, which I know that he will enjoy very much. We loaded everything in the car, including the food, bags, and other necessities. Of course, my husband helped me in carrying them. After we load everything, we get in the car, but as the gentleman that he is, my husband opened the passenger door for me and even held his hands for me. His little gestures melt my heart every time. I held his hand, and when I glanced at it, I saw an unfamiliar ring, a diamond. This is not our wedding ring. As soon as he noticed that I was staring at it, he instantly hid his hands behind his back and offered me the other. I was so weirded out by his actions, but I paid it no mind. I wanted to ask him about the ring, but I don't want to ruin the mood for everyone because it might end up in a fight. I don't want to ruin the day, especially for our kids. And of course, for him. It is his birthday. I can sense the tension between me and my husband, and I can sense it from his actions. He is hostile and uneasy about the beach. Good thing the beach is just minutes away and we can finally break the tension. We try to make everything easy, especially the atmosphere. So we swam, ate, and laughed all together. We shared jokes and conversations. Just like a normal, healthy family, we enjoyed our celebration. Our kids danced and sang their prepared performances, and I could see that my husband was full of joy as he saw his children honor him.
That was such a nice performance. You did great, my darlings.
Our kids ran towards him and attacked him with kisses and hugs, and he gave them the tightest hug and loving kisses as well. But their sweet and lovely moment was interrupted when my husband suddenly received a phone call.
Oh, someone's calling. Gotta get this before it blows.
He joked. The kids went back to the beach after my husband let go of them and answered it rashly. He gave me a slight nod in the head, telling me that he is going to answer it. He walked away so fast while talking on the phone. What's with the rush? The moment his phone rang, he was so fast in answering it. Is there a problem? He even went near the shore as he answered it. It took him 30 minutes. Imagine, 30 minutes? Who is calling him? And why did it take him that long? I'm usually okay with this kind of stuff because it's normal. Perhaps it is one of his friends greeting him a happy birthday, but he isn't happy. I could see his face frowning and throwing a heavy sigh. If it is someone greeting him for his birthday, he would be smiling, right? But why is he so frustrated? He headed back to our cottage and flashed a smile at me, a forced and fake one. I'm sure he is not happy. What happened, honey?
Oh, it's Tim. They want to throw a birthday party for me and he wants me to go there.
But do they know that we are celebrating your birthday as well? He wasn't able to answer me because he was busy texting someone on his phone. He was so disoriented. Hey honey, do they know? He was taken aback when I tapped him. He quickly hid his phone. What's the matter with him?
Yes, of course, yes. I'm so sorry. What did you say, love?
I was shocked when he called me love. Love? His eyes widened and he quickly held my hand.
Hun, I said hun. Honey.
I heaved a sigh and tried to clear my mind. I don't want to pick a fight, and this is not the right place and the right time for it.
Can I go to the party?
He asked. I can sense that he is pleading for me to allow him. I was skeptical at first, but I guess he deserves it after all. It is his birthday. His friends also deserve to be with him. I smiled at him and rubbed his hand. Of course, honey, but you have a lot of explaining to do. As I said that line, I directed his sight to our kids playing in the water. He chuckled and smiled at me.
Of course, the bosses will always have the final decision.
I laughed with him. He ran towards the shore and played with them for a while, and he told them that he will be going home already and that he will be going to have a party with his friends. I don't know what else he said, but I knew his bank account is going to decline again because I'm pretty sure he bribed the kids with toys and gadgets just to get their permission. I just chuckled at the thought of it. They are so cute and wholesome. After our kids dressed up and everything was already loaded in the car, we immediately went home. After we were heading home, I could feel that my husband was driving much faster than usual, and he kept on looking at his phone. I kept on telling him to keep his eyes on the road. He would say yes, but still take a peek at his phone once in a while. I heaved a sigh once again. This is so suspicious. Once we arrived home, after he helped me unload the things we bought, he didn't even bother to come inside and bid goodbye to the kids because he was in such a hurry. I saw with my 2 eyes how he drove the car so fast. Is everything good? What happened to him? I went inside the house. After a few hours, the kids were asleep already, and it was just me alone. I decided to wait for him until he got home. It is already 11 p.m. at night, and I know he won't be home anytime soon. I was just sitting on our couch in the living room, watching a television series. I was oddly enjoying the show that I didn't even manage to notice the time, and to my surprise, it was already 4 in the morning. Where the hell is he? I tried to contact him for the first time. After all, I don't usually call him when he's out with his friends because I don't want to ruin his fun. On top of that, he always gets home early. This is the first time he came home very late. I dialed his number many times already, but there was no answer. So I decided to text his friend Tim. I asked about my husband, their location, and what time they were going to come home. To my surprise, Tim texted me back immediately. He told me that he is not with Ricky and that he has no idea about the party, and if there is any, he is pretty sure he would be the one preparing and planning it. My heart started to pump so hard, I could feel my nervousness taking over my body. Something is not right here. I gave up waiting, so I had no choice but to head to our bedroom. There is no point in waiting, and for the record, this is the first time that he lied to me. Or is it the first time? That I don't know. My heart sank and I'm truly in pain. Where is he? I tried to sleep, but I couldn't. I am so bothered by the thought that my husband lied to me and that he is not home yet. However, I heard a car pull over and someone enters from the front door. In just a few seconds, my husband entered the room. He looked troubled. His eyes filled with a sense of urgency. I wanted to shout at him, but he looked so pale and weak. What happened to him? He moved closer to me, and he was murmuring some words, but his voice was barely above a whisper. He went near my ears, trying to whisper something.
Francesca, I need to tell you the truth.
My heartbeat escalated. He doesn't usually call me Francesca. This is a serious matter now. Something is not right. I am so worried about him. In fact, the anger I felt earlier suddenly vanished. I leaned in, trying to catch every word. What is it, hon? What's wrong? He was struggling to utter the words, so I held him and I could feel that he was trembling. Oh God, what is happening to my husband?
There's something I've been hiding from you. I never wanted it to come to this, but I can't keep it to myself any longer.
My heart pounded in my chest. The anxiety started to creep into my voice. My mind started to overthink everything and I'm about to cry. Just tell me, Ricky. Whatever it is, we will face it together. I held his hands, but he just shook his head, and I could see the tears flowing from his eyes. I am so scared. Why is this like this? I'm so confused. My husband took a deep breath and spoke again while his voice was trembling.
I have been living a lie, friend. I have betrayed you.
My eyes welled up with tears as I struggled to comprehend his every word. My entire body was trembling. What do you mean, Ricky? How could you betray me?
I never wanted to hurt you, friend, but I married another woman. It was a mistake, a terrible mistake, and now I'm paying for it.
My hand flew to my mouth, stifling a gasp. I could feel my entire world shattered in an instant. Married? Another woman? What? Another woman? How could you? We had a life, a family. My husband collapsed to the floor, clutching his chest in pain. My shock turned to panic as I rushed to his side. Ricky, oh God, what's happening? My husband's body went limp. I screamed for help. I shouted as loud as I could. I tried to find his pulse, but there was none. My husband is dead? Ricky is dead? I cried my heart out while trying to be strong. I called an ambulance and anyone that could help us. My shout was so loud that our kids heard it and disturbed their sleep. They went to our room and I immediately hugged them and turned them away. I don't want them to see their father's dead body. What is happening? Who killed my husband? The police and medical rescuers came immediately and examined my dead husband's body. The forensic scientists discovered traces of poison on his shirt, which was seen as tiny pink powder and mouth. Meanwhile, the nurses that examined his body told me that his body should be brought to the hospital for an autopsy report. I followed everything they said. I am so weak. I don't know what to do anymore. I am still in shock with what happened. Even our kids won't stop crying, but I have to keep my strength. I have to be there for my children. And with a heavy heart and weak body, I prepared my husband's funeral while we were waiting for the autopsy result. And after half a day, his body was cremated and the doctors finally sent me the results. He was indeed poisoned. Who would dare to do this murderous thing to him? My husband was a good man. Or is he? I was so confused. I don't know how to react anymore. I felt so numb. I didn't have any choice but to accept everything. So after my husband's burial, I promised myself and my kids that I will fill in the gap that their father left us. I will work extra hard for them, and I will never let them feel that their father is gone. A day after his burial, the house was filled with an air of grief and sadness. I sat on the couch, lost in my thoughts, when the front door burst open. A mysterious girl in her mid-20s stormed into the house with an air of arrogance in her aura. I was so shocked, as well as my kids, by her sudden intrusion. I stood up and stopped her. Who are you? What do you think you're doing? Oh, you must be the clueless wife. How adorable. I am Emily, the legal wife of Ricky? Looks like he never bothered to mention me, huh? My eyes narrowed with a mix of confusion and anger was bubbling up within me. Is this what Ricky told me before he died? This can't be true. Oh, honey, I have all the proof I need. Legal documents, photos, and more. Ricky was legally married to me, and this little bundle of joy here is our child. My heart sank as Emily flaunted the evidence, leaving me in disbelief. But Ricky married me as well. I am his legal wife. You must have manipulated him, forcing him into this. I have been married to him for almost 20 years, and we have 3 children. You are a conniving woman. Emily smirked, her eyes filled with malice. Conniving? No, sweetie. I'm just claiming what's rightfully mine. I don't care if you're the first wife. The truth is, your husband chose me. He saw through your pathetic existence. I clenched my fists as my anger was rising. Get out of my house. You have no right to be here. Emily scoffed and walked closer to me, purposefully invading my personal space. She snarled at me. Oh, I'm not going anywhere, darling. This house, these possessions, everything that Ricky had is now mine. You and your little brats can find somewhere else to rot. My eyes filled with tears. A mix of anger and sadness overwhelmed me. I won't let you destroy everything we had. I'll fight you. I'll expose your lies and make sure you pay for what you have done. Emily chuckled and flashed a wicked gleam in her eyes. What are you trying to imply? Did I do something? Of course, nothing. Good luck with that, dear. You're nothing compared to me. You can try, but you'll only embarrass yourself in the end. I know you have something to do with my husband's death. It is so weird that you just showed up a day after his death with no remorse. If you truly love him, you should have been crying and mourning right now. Say whatever you want. No one is going to believe you. I was angry that I grabbed her, but she pushed me away. I managed to hold her handbag and her things scattered on the floor. She paid it no mind and still turned and walked away. I was so shaken and determined to uncover the truth. There is something fishy about that girl. I just have to find evidence. I went to our study and sat at my desk, surrounded by stacks of papers, photographs, and open laptops. The determination is etched on my face as I dig deep into my investigations. My husband's lies and betrayal of me made me want to take revenge against the woman that ruined me. I clicked through various online accounts searching for any traces of Emily. I cross-referenced names, locations, and connections, desperate to uncover the truth. After thorough research, my eyes widened as I stumbled upon an article that caught my attention. It revealed the illegal marriage between my husband and Emily. The article was posted in an online forum by an anonymous person that witnessed the wedding. They detailed that she was one of the staff of the resort that conducted the wedding. They were aware that the groom was already married, but the wife insisted on marrying her secretly because she was already pregnant, and a photograph of my husband and Emily was attached. I printed out the article, quickly reaching for a binder labeled evidence. I went downstairs and saw that the woman's things are still on the floor, and to my surprise, I saw something familiar, a vial with tiny pink powder in it. It's poison. I am right. She poisoned my husband. I picked up the vial while using a glove into a plastic sleeve, carefully organizing it alongside other incriminating documents she has collected. That's it. We are going to the court. I contacted my lawyer and told her about the case. Emily received the court's request, and to my surprise, she agreed to do the proceedings. On the day of the trial, I walked confidently through the bustling courthouse, clutching my binder of evidence tightly. I saw Emily sitting on the opposing side. She smirked at me. I handed my lawyer the binder of evidence, whispering final instructions. My eyes locked with Emily's, radiating a mixture of determination and righteous anger. After several discussions, I took the stand, facing the judge of the jury. I presented my evidence one by one, explaining the details of my husband's illegal marriage and Emily's malicious intentions. The courtroom erupted in gasps and murmurs as the shocking truth was revealed. Emily's face contorted in a mixture of rage and fear. The judge heard me out, and with the weight of my evidence, they decided that, Emily, based on the overwhelming evidence presented in this court, you are found guilty of fraud, deceit, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The court hereby sentences you to the full extent of the law. Emily's face crumbled as she was handcuffed and escorted out of the courtroom, her reign of manipulation finally coming to an end. I stood on the courthouse steps, my gaze fixed on the horizon. I exhaled, a mix of relief and satisfaction filling my heart. Justice has been served. Our family can finally find peace. I turned away, ready to embrace the future, empowered by the strength and love for my children.